I had earlier met a lot of Riverside parents before the orientation also. So, there were a couple of things that I was looking for, and it's kind of just rebuilt my confidence into the school that I've chosen for my son. So, for all the things that I was looking for, and obviously I got those unanswered questions which are supposed to be answered during orientation as well. So, just basically to just rebuild my confidence in the school.
It definitely gives a lot of clarity in terms of the methodology of teaching. There are always doubts when you pick up a school and you're not sure, like what Kiran mentioned, that there are choices that one needs to make, and I think selecting a school for us, or for any parent for that matter, at the first day is always going to be sort of a gamble, that is this the right choice that one has made. I think orientation here helps us to build that confidence that irrespective of what the students would learn here, I think the way they would learn is going to be the way which is probably going to stay on with them for rest of their life. And I think that's something which is very valuable. So orientations definitely helped us a lot in terms of getting that clarity in mind, that whether the school is right or wrong. So I think that stage has already been passed. So that's a very good way of explaining how the school looks at education, at least here in Riverside.
Basically, just for the entire concept and for the whole thing that Riverside stands for, is what we would like our son to inculcate those values which Riverside teaches.
See, I think at the end of the day, I think it's not the education what matters over a period of time. I think it's the experience, the way how the things are being taught, how the things and the values that a person or a child can learn is more important. I think the way they teach here is quite unique, which is different, which is far more valuable than probably what you could not learn out of a book.
Everything has a very practical approach. So basically, you use a lot of your common sense for all the approaches for even knowing to do anything, or how to come up with something, or even problem solving. So it's basically just common sense. It's just practical approach to normal things, which is one thing which you want the kids to learn, rather than just something which is very normally taught, that this is how you can do it, instead of just learn how to do it. The entire orientation, the way it was conducted, the beginning of it with the game and everything, just overall it gives you a lot of other aspects to the school which you probably didn't know. What would you expect in a typical orientation? Is teachers talking to you. That there is nothing like a team thing that is being done initially. That's how the entire orientation was started. So it gave me a lot of other things which I was not thinking about the school, or which a typical parent has these things should be in a school. But there are a lot of ideas. It opened my mind to a lot of other things. And obviously the peer interaction, the alumni, the students of Riverside participating probably much more than the teachers in the orientation itself. It just reflects how the entire functioning, how the entire thought of the school is, which is very important, which I wasn't that aware of, because speaking to parents is a different thing versus being in an orientation and actually being in the school environment. So yeah, I had a couple of things in my mind, but I'm going back with a lot other thoughts which the school can give to me, which I didn't have an idea.
See, at the end of the day, I think when you talk about ethos and what does Riverside stand for, I think one thing that you could clearly see from a student who's already passed out, who's already studying, from the teachers, from everybody here, there's a sense of happiness which one is built. It's more like a family which is trying to run the school, rather than a professional trying to, okay, hang on, you have your kids from here 10 to 5 and you're done, it's your kids, go take them away. So that's not the approach, and I think that brings a lot of comfort as well. So that as a value brings a lot of confidence as well, which is very clearly reflected here. At the same time, I think one thing which is very clear, even if you look at the students, is they are independent. They are confident in terms of what they're trying to do. I think that's the sense which even I think Riverside is want to develop at the end of the day within every school and every student and every individual that is here. So whether it's the teacher or whether it's a student or whether it's anybody else. So I think it clearly reflects in terms of what, and it's a top-down approach. It's like how I feel and that has been percolated down below the line to the finest possible manner. And I think that's something which keeps Riverside different from any other school, you know.
So you
So,
have live Riverside examples
you know,
running around in the school explaining you stuff, and so you basically are not left with any questions because you are seeing people in front of you who are just being like that. So you pretty much left out with a quite chilled out.
yeah.
This orientation was definitely an eye-opener. Though most of the things I did come across, but this was kind of directly from the horse's mouth. Kind of one-on-one experience or forecast of what's going to be in store for Rihanna. With this orientation with Kiran and all the team together, and especially the alumni being there, it did give me that extra confidence about yes, where Rihanna is heading to. The focus here would be more on the child's overall well-being rather than probably just the academics. Design thinking, the term that I learned today, I think that I am looking or more excited about. That is how Rihanna is going to, basically think and use her common sense.
Well, the earlier orientation did not have involvement of the students in it, but this particular year they have involved their senior students in it, which matters a lot. This explains how the younger generation has grown up to be in the same school, their confidence level, and this is exactly what we as parents are looking forward to. And not only the textual knowledge, but the smartness and the leadership qualities, which are very essential in these days to take you forward. Well, orientation will just throw some more light to whether your thoughts as parents are matching with the school's thoughts or not, their processes are matching yours or not, and it gives you a level platform. In case if it's not matching, then this is the platform through which you can convey to the teachers that no, this is not the right way of conveying or teaching the students.
The comfort level, that is the way I think like today how they had the senior students, the alumni and the staff being there. So as Kiran ma'am said, the raw material, that's really the essence of it. So we are very sure, and again getting reassured the second time, that what our child is going to be and where they are going. That is the essence, I think, of Riverside. They are grounded, they're confident, and they all are individual leaders. That's the best part about Riverside. And we get reassured looking at them. We like, okay, now they are standing and they can, cater to this whole crowd of adults. They're way elder to them, and they're so confident with what they want to do. And how, when they were standing near the groups, when we were doing the second activity, how they could make out and go to the depth of what we were thinking, our thought process, and how they, put it ahead to Kiran ma'am. So that was again wonderful. Coming here, the casual atmosphere is here. It's not okay, fine, they are best buddies, your teachers are best buddies, but the comfort level that we get, we are no at ease at any time. Like the staff has been very, very cooperative. Whenever we need their call away. It's not that after, they always mention, do call after 7, don't call after 7 p.m. But it's never that if there is an emergency, we have called. I remember in pre-K, my son refused to go on the bus. So in 7 in the morning, I have made calls, okay ma'am, he's not ready to get up for school, he's crying. So they talk and they're like, okay mama, I'm going to school. So teachers can go to that extent to comfort the child. Big hats off to them. They are there available 24/7. Even in holidays, we've been calling them, ma'am, how to do the homework, how to do the BA, we don't know, we are lost. So even on vacation, they feel they are responsible towards us and they support us. It started in pre-K. We started with something, taking them for a small visit to an animal farm. And slowly, the pre-K is a very difficult stage where they wanted a lot of support from parents coming in. So they would say, come with any activity. So from making musical instruments to making their mats, I mean, we've gone and tried everything, you know. So any call, okay, Amrita, can you come? Can you fill us in for this? So, you know, it's just that we feel lucky that they call us. And sometimes in K1, we had to stop a bit of the activities because I think my son was getting too used to the idea that I have to be in school all the time. But yeah, I love to come anytime, and I'm sure teachers know it very well that, you know, we are there to support them, and it's fun coming on campus and helping out. We learn also every day, like when we are doing some activities, they tell us, can we do this, you know, they also give their ideas and we are learning with them also. It's just not that we are giving them something to learn, they are teaching us every day something new also.
As a process, after a gap of 2 months, when you're coming back to school, you are a little hesitant when you come back, because in these 2 months you've met a lot of people, you have your set of doubts, you have your queries. But when you have this orientation wherein Kiran talks to you about different aspects, there are teachers, there are games that are being played, so you're back to the ground again, that yes, this is what I want and I'm at the right place. So the orientations have helped me as a parent to be with Riverside for the past 8 years. Certainly, orientation does help in matching that, because we as children were brought up in a very different set of education, and accepting what Riverside is doing to your child is very difficult at times. But when you see the outcome, as Kiran says, the process and the product, when you see your child, you're totally convinced that where you are is exactly where you want to be, and that is Riverside School. So the orientations, when you see what all they've done in the past year, what new initiatives the school has been taking, you are absolutely convinced and satisfied. So the philosophy of Riverside is the philosophy that we want for a child. First of all, the new set of parents that we meet at the orientation, and the new teachers and the staff and everybody, it's nice to meet everyone. And as I said, the orientation just breaks the ice. वो जो 2 महीने का gap है, after that you feel good to be back to school. I don't know much about other parents, but every parent makes an initiative to be a part of the Riverside team, because it's a different experience. Me as an individual, I was a very shy kid when I was in school. So there were a lot of things that I wanted to do in school, like be it drama, art, performing on stage, whatever. I never did it because I didn't have the confidence. But at Riverside, we are given that opportunity to be a part of the school team. And that is exactly what I've done. I've relived my childhood. I have done drama for Riverside. We have sung songs for Riverside. We've danced at Riverside. We've done stories at Riverside. We've done art. There's nothing that we've not done here. We've done so much. We kind of, getting food during the AIR. That is what we've done. A lot of things. These 8 years is like I have been in school for the past 8 years, and I have relived my childhood totally. And I thank Riverside for that.